Hello everyone and welcome yourselves back to the YouTube channel, back for the penultimate episode of Waterloo Road Season 4. We are finally here, episode 19. Quite an enjoyable episode, an episode that definitely helps us highlight some key points in the Kim storyline with a returning character Andrew Treneman, and multiple other stuff takes place in this episode. A huge story that will impact the finale. So let's talk about it. Subscribe, like, spoilers ahead, and enjoy the video. So first off, we'll talk about the whole Rwandan stuff, and then we'll dive into the rest of the stuff. So they decided to put a day on to pay homage to Rwanda, to showcase the type of food they would eat, the type of culture and environment they live in, all that sort of stuff, presentations, choir, there were stalls, raising money for them, that sort of stuff. It was absolutely incredible. And, icing on the cake, Andrew Treneman was, showcasing some videos. He was going to be teaching some classes that they were teaching Rwanda or about Rwanda, like he said, like population to landmass, so percentages and that sort of stuff. Treneman is easily one of the best characters in the show. And I want to say this. In the last episode, obviously Kim was going through the hardest time in her life. Gracie was taken away from her. And us as an audience, it's a difficult scenario when you're watching this and you're trying to understand, where Kim's coming from. She says the mother told her to take her. But then when you learn more facts, and obviously because Andrew is one of the most switched on people in the show, he does everything by the book. He's very principle based. I loved how he was basically like, the family did not want Grace to be taken. You broke the law. You did so much wrong. And Andrew had to pay the repercussions. She left Andrew without a warning, and it basically put him in a very bad position. He was very informative in the correct way this episode. I like how they basically highlighted what actually was going on, and it made us realize Kim was in the wrong position. But you look at it from a a fan, an audience perspective, from Andrew's perspective, she is obviously a very family oriented person. She definitely always wants to help people and support people. So in that regard, she was doing everything right. But I there's just something about Andrew, his whole aura, his whole being in Waterloo Road. This episode has got me even more excited for the fact he's going to be back in these May episodes in series 12. He He's an outstanding character who I don't think has many flaws. He's very straight to the point. That is very much apparent. I think this was his final appearance. I don't know if he's in the next episode, but again, we'll find out soon. Um, I had a great time with his character in this episode. His relationship with Kim got stronger and stronger towards the end. I loved how they kissed and sort of made up, and that would be it between them two. He would go back to Rwanda, and Kim would keep teaching going forward with a clean slate under Rachel. That was obviously what was decided. On the flip side, you had the whole conversations of whether Rose and Candice would have jobs by the end of the episode after selling out of date food. Philip being an absolute asshole. I understand the whole the bullying thing, but the fact he went to extreme circumstances to make everyone unwell, even people that hadn't even harmed him, was a bit just sidebarred. It's been a really crazy time to have Philip in this show. You understand from one perspective, but then you understand, like, why have you gone down to their level? Why have you chosen to be a dick and an arsehole? Rachel's very favoritism towards him. She never really sees bad in Philip. She'll always try and discipline him, but she can never get through to him. Something which I think has sort of slipped off since Melissa left, and Eddie's not even stepped in to do much. They've attempted to, but it's not really been there. And obviously, we're going to see Melissa return in the next episode. Thank you to the promo. And obviously, big things are going to happen in regards to Eddie, Rachel, Philip, and Melissa. So that's going to be intriguing to figure out what goes on there. But yeah, it was the biggest point in this episode was obviously Marley and Flick. Marley got the absolute shit kicked out of him. And I want to address this as well. Marley was beaten with by a golf club. He was punched. He had bruises. He was injured. He walked to school. Police and ambulance were on the scene. And Flick's dad was arrested. But he wasn't arrested. He was freed by the end of the episode and is simply going to be destroying the school in the next episode. I get it's for the TV purposes, it's soap purposes, and he will probably end up being in prison by the finale. But I just think it's very silly how he was released without witnesses or statements or any of that sort of stuff. It was done really off the cuff and dodgy, and it's just so baffling just so you can make a finale built around him. And it's so extravagant how they do the finales. School on fire in the season 3 finale, and now we're going to get a destroyed school under Ralph, Flick's dad. So it's going to be definitely intriguing to see where they go with it. Um, Characters who haven't really done much. I mean, I'm enjoying Tom's involvement. He was sort of involved. Steph, she's the reason why Trenman came. Jasmine sort of just drifted off into the back. Matt's doing the quiet stuff, but it's not really intriguing. Danielle and Alicia, Alicia. I couldn't even say Alicia trying to kill people by putting chemicals in their cakes. Like, what's that about? It's kind of there's some random things they put in these shows, but the bottom line is they raised some decent money after everything was cancelled and closed down. Everyone had the trots and basically had to be quarantined away from everyone else until they realized what was going on. Rose and Candice keep their jobs for the time being, and so does Kim. And obviously, all things are swell with Treadman and Kim. And I always love these random returns as well. When Rimmer returned, it was cool. When Treadman's returned, it was brilliant. Love seeing Lawson and Treadman share the screen for the first time as well, which is really cool. The two deputy heads that we've had since season 1. And obviously to meet Rachel for the first time was fantastic. Little reunions with Grantley, Tom, and Steph towards Treadman as well was cool. But overall, it caps off as a really good episode, a really good penultimate episode that's going to be leading into the finale, which will obviously deal with Ralph being the main focus and the return of Melissa. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Excited to say the least. And obviously, I'll be posting that tomorrow, not today. And then we will be back with season 5 on Monday. So do stick around for that. Thank you for all your support on this season. Subscribe and like. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on this episode. And I'll be back soon for more. Goodbye.